What if I told you that you could walk into your backyard one day and realize you no longer needed to buy chicken feed at all? That the land beneath your feet, if planted correctly, could quietly, relentlessly produce everything your flock needs to survive and thrive. Most people don't realize this, but before commercial feed existed, chickens were never dependent. They lived inside systems, living systems, cycles of plants that regrew, reseeded, and returned year after year, without permission, without packaging, without interruption. But that knowledge didn't disappear by accident. It was replaced by convenience, by uniformity, by a system that works until it doesn't. And now, as costs rise and supply chains feel less certain, those forgotten plants are beginning to matter again. Because the truth is simple. If you choose the right plants, you don't just grow food. You grow independence. And by the time you reach the final plant on this list, the one old homesteaders quietly relied on as their last line of feed security, you'll understand why some people say you only need to plant once and feed forever. Comfrey, Symphytum officinale, is not a plant that demands attention, but it earns respect over time. At first glance, it looks ordinary broad green leaves, soft texture, nothing dramatic. But beneath the surface, its roots dive deep into the soil, pulling up minerals that most plants never reach. This is why older farmers called it a dynamic accumulator. For centuries across Europe, it was cut again and again to feed livestock because it regrows with quiet aggression. Chickens consume it eagerly, especially when chopped. What made it disappear from modern systems is simple. It doesn't transport well and doesn't fit industrial models. But in a backyard, that limitation becomes its strength. Plant it once in a sunny or partially shaded area, water it until established, and then begin harvesting leaves every few weeks. Each cut signals new growth. Each season, it expands. It doesn't just feed chickens, it rebuilds the soil beneath it. A plant that gives above and below at the same time. Amaranth, Amaranthus spp, carries the weight of ancient civilizations in its seeds. Once a staple of the Aztecs, this plant was more than a crop, it was survival itself. Its tiny seeds are rich in protein, and its leaves function like a highly nutritious green. Chickens instinctively peck at both. What makes amaranth powerful is not just its nutrition, but its resilience. It thrives in heat. It tolerates poor soil. It produces thousands of seeds per plant, enough to sustain future generations without replanting. So why did it fade? Because modern farming prefers uniform crops like corn and soy, predictable, machine-friendly, profitable at scale. Amaranth grows wild, diverse, almost untamed. But that is exactly why it matters now. Scatter seeds after the last frost and step back. Let it grow tall. Let it reseed naturally. Over time, it becomes part of your land, returning without effort, feeding your chickens without asking. 3. Duckweed, Lemna minor, is so small that most people overlook it entirely. Floating on still water, it looks insignificant, like green dust scattered across a pond. But in reality, it is one of the fastest growing plants on Earth. Under ideal conditions, it doubles in size within days. Historically used in parts of Asia as both animal and human food, duckweed is rich in protein and astonishingly efficient. Chickens don't just eat it, they devour it. The reason it never became mainstream is simple. It grows in water, and modern agriculture separated aquatic systems from land-based feeding. But that separation is artificial. With a small container, pond, or even a trough, you can cultivate duckweed continuously, provide sunlight, still water, and minimal nutrients, and it will multiply almost endlessly. Harvest it daily, feed it fresh, and watch it return. It feels less like growing, and more like tapping into a living, self-replenishing resource. 4. Lamb's quarters, Chenopodium album, is the kind of plant modern gardeners often pull out without thinking. Labeled a weed, removed, discarded. But historically, it was anything but unwanted. Known as wild spinach, it followed human settlements for centuries, appearing wherever soil was disturbed. Its leaves are highly nutritious, soft, and perfect for chickens. What makes it powerful is its independence. You don't always have to plant it, it often arrives on its own. And once it establishes, It recedes effortlessly. The reason it was forgotten is tied to control. Modern agriculture values crops that grow exactly where they're told. Lamb's quarters refuses that idea, but for a self-sustaining system, that refusal becomes an advantage. Allow a few plants to mature and drop seeds. In the following seasons, they return stronger, more adapted, more abundant. A plant that asks for nothing, yet continues to give. 5. Mulberry, Morus alba, Morus rubra, changes the scale of your thinking. This is no longer a seasonal plant, it is a long-term investment. A tree that produces food not just for years, but for decades. Mulberries have been cultivated across Asia, Europe, and North America for thousands of years. While they are often associated with silkworm production, their value for livestock is just as significant. The berries are sweet, soft, and fall naturally when ripe, allowing chickens to feed themselves without intervention. But even the leaves contain protein and can be used as supplemental feed. The reason mulberry is rarely included in modern feed systems is patience. Trees take time, but once established, they produce heavily, reliably, and without much care. Plant one in full sun, protect it while young, and give it time to root deeply. What follows is a quiet transformation, season after season of falling fruit, feeding your flock without effort. A system built not on urgency, but on time. 6. Pumpkin, Cucurbita maxima, represents storage, abundance, and preparation. Large vines stretch across the ground, producing heavy fruits filled with dense nutrition. Chickens eat the flesh, the seeds, and even peck at the skin. But what makes pumpkin essential is not just its productivity, it's its ability to last. For centuries, farmers relied on storage crops to carry livestock through winter. Before year-round purchasing existed, pumpkins were part of survival. They could be harvested, cured, and stored for months, providing a steady feed source when fresh greens disappeared. Modern systems replace this with constant buying, but the logic remains powerful. Plant pumpkins after the last frost in rich soil, give them space to spread, and allow them to mature fully. Harvest before cold weather, store them properly, and you create a reserve, not just food but security, a buffer against uncertainty. 7. Jerusalem, artichoke, Helianthus tuberosus, is where everything changes. At first glance, it looks like a sunflower, tall, bright, almost decorative. But underground, it produces tubers that are dense with energy and incredibly productive. Native to North America, it was once a staple crop for indigenous communities and early settlers because of its reliability. It grows in poor soil. It tolerates harsh conditions. And once planted, it rarely disappears. In fact, it spreads. That is precisely why modern agriculture moved away from it. It doesn't stay contained easily. But for a self-reliant system, that persistence is invaluable. Plant a few tubers in a controlled space, allow them to establish, and harvest selectively. Even if you leave some behind, they return, stronger, more numerous. Each year, building a deeper reserve beneath the soil, chickens can be fed the tubers directly or allowed to forage them. This is not just a crop, it is a permanent food source, hidden underground, waiting. And when you step back and look at these 7 plants together, something becomes clear. This is not just about feeding chickens. It is about reclaiming a system that works without